All right, welcome back to another Fusion bite. We're on bite 4 now. So in this bite, we're going to look at putting hats on the players' heads and syncing them across the network. So what I've done in preparation for this is in our scene, I have a bunch of hats. And then I have this hat script that all it does is it gets all of its children and puts them in a list. And then it adds this hat picker script to each of them. And what the hat picker does is just whenever I hover my mouse over it, it just scales them up a little bit. And then when my mouse is down, it scales them down. All right, so it wasn't related to Fusion, so I did it off camera. I'll just hit play so you can see what it looks like. All right, so here's our player. We're in. I mean, even from here, I could go ahead and hover over, and you can see it's scaling them up. All right, so that's what we're going to kind of do to select these hats. So what we're going to do now with my kids screaming in the background is on our hat picker, we need like on pointer click, I think. So public void click. I was hoping it would show is on mouse down. That's what we want because pointers is for UI. I was surprised that the mouse over and mouse exit worked because I don't think my camera has a physics raycaster on it, and I thought that was important, but apparently not. It works without it. So the way I'm about to do this is probably not the best way. The best way might be with some other type of identifiers, like using an enum or something, but we need a way to identify what it is that we are clicking on. And so that's why I have this hats list that's getting generated. So on mouse down, I'm tempted to just get the sibling index because I'm betting the sibling index is going to match the list index. But let's get the list index. So on mouse down, we want to hats. We need a reference to our hats. We need to get the hats script, which is easy enough. We can just do transform dot get root. Let's not get root. Let's just do get parent. Okay, transform parent dot get component, because we know that this hat picker is on a hat, which is a child of the hat's game object in the scene, which has the hat script on it. So we're going to get the hat script, not hat picker. I just want the hat script. Oh, hats. Hats. Get the component hats. And we're going to, dink. And we want to look at the hats. And we want to index of this game object. Right? So now if I just debug, if we get int hat index equals, and then debug log hat index. If we hit play, all right, let's log in so that I can actually see the hats. And then move him over a little bit, and let's click that guy. So there we have index 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the hat cupcake. Yep. And then hats 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, hat cupcake, just to show that that is the right one. If we hide the cupcake, that is the one that we clicked on. All right, so we have a reference to the item. So remember our player stat script from our last bite. And if you haven't watched our previous bites, go back and watch the previous bites. So our player stat script. Let's take a look at that. Now we need an easy way to reference this. And so what I like to do, and the way I do it, some people would probably scoff at, but it works and I like it, and it's simple, is, all right, so just to make it easy to reference this bad boy, I'm going to do a public static player stats, and then here you can see instance. This is how you're supposed to get instances with get and private set. That's not how I do it. I probably should do it that way. But I'm just going to do And I even use lowercase. And feel free to yell at me in comments about why I shouldn't set instances this way. But here, if I have state authority, we're going to do if instance is null, then instance is this. And normally I would do this in multiple lines, but since it's suggesting it like that, then we're going to keep it like that all in one line. Okay, so now that we have an easy way to grab our player stats is we're going to go, okay, we need to add a variable for, and we're just going to steal this. And what we want to do here is we're just going to do a public int. And we're going to call this hat index. But when it changes, we're going to update hat. Okay, and then let's go ahead and we're just going to copy this guy to save us some time. And this is called update hat now. All right, so we need to now put the hat on the head. So how are we going to do that? So let's just get an easy reference first. So int hat index. No, we're going to do int, I don't know, underscore hat index. I don't know when people use underscores, when they don't, but I don't want to call it hat index because I want a private variable here. I don't want to be doing that one up there. Although, I think I am doing it this way will make the lines of code more condensed. So I'm gonna keep it like this. Equals change.behavior.hatIndex. All right. So now we can just use underscore hat index without having to reference the behavior change each time. All right. So now that we have the hat index, we need to get it from our hats. And really, is anything stopping me from just doing that? Making this a static variable? And then what if I come over here and then say, like, because I could now go hats without needing an instance of hats. I could do that too, but this should be my only hat script in the whole project. So by making this a static list, I can just reference it directly like this. Static means it's the only one that should exist, right? So we have that. And so we want to get, or from the list, we just, how do we reference in items? Contains, we can check and see if it contains first, but we know it does. We don't want to find index. I think we just reference it, right? Like we do an array. So it would just be like this, and then we just put in hat index, right? So then game object hat, yeah, we don't have a hat here, equals this. Okay, so we know what the hat is. And so now, I need another variable. And this can be private game object current hat. Okay. And I'm making it null just so I know that I'm not assigning it anywhere yet. So if hat is not equal to null, there we go, then we're going to destroy current hat. Right? Why can't I do that? An object reference is required for the non-static field. Destroy Why can't I do that? I always forget how to destroy things. I don't know why. Is it like destroy dot current hat? Why can't I ever remember how to destroy something? So I think I've just got these backwards. I think it should be current hat dot destroy. You know what? We can't reference this hat because we're in this static thing. So, so just also to keep the stuff simplified, I want to do game object underscore current hat equals changed dot behavior, because we have to know where this came from, dot current hat. And I'm not sure if that'll cause an error or not. I don't think it will because we declared it as null. It might just set this as null, but we might get a null object reference. I hope not. If we do, then we'll just add an if statement to clear that up. All right. So we actually shouldn't be doing this. We should be doing underscore current hat now. If the current hat is not equal to null, then we need to take the current hat and destroy it. Is that not how we do it? Destroy. Oh, I think the issue we were having before is I was trying to reference and not telling it what the object reference was. But now that we've done all that to get the change behavior current hat, now we're good. So if we already have a current hat, we're going to destroy it. So to make things easier for this demo, another thing I'm going to do is have a transform reference that's just the player's head. And that way we don't have to find it in the script. And honestly, if I was probably doing something like this, I would probably do it like this as well. Hats.hats cannot be accessed without an instance reference. I thought that was the whole point of it being static, though. I wonder if it's because we don't need to do that anymore. Because we've made the list static, I can just do this. This is from our hat picker script. Yeah, it's happy now. All right, so if we go back to Unity and find our player stats, and I don't see the transform I had here. Player stats. Maybe because it's... Oh, because it's private. Duh. Let's serialize it. Now we should be able to access it. All right. There we have player head. Boom. So we have a reference to our head. And so we destroyed the current hat if there is one. And so now we're going to create a game object, new hat, equals game object dot instantiate. And I don't need to spawn this over the network because every player is creating it on their own, so I don't need to spawn it. So we're going to instantiate hat. Now, this is instantiating from a scene object, not a prefab, but it should still work just fine, I think. And now we need to set its parent, so hat.transform.parent equals head. No, I didn't do that. Oh, now we have to go back to change.behavior.head, player head. Yep. And then we can say that change.behavior dot current hat equals new hat. So I don't think I'm missing anything there. Let's go try it out. All right, so let's put our name in here. And let's run over and let's grab the cupcake. Oh, so we didn't have the hat picker do anything except debug. So what we need to do now is we're going to do player stats dot instance dot hat. Is that what we were syncing? Yeah, the hat index equals hat index. Cool. All right, now it should work. All right, back in the scene. Hoping this works. Click on the cupcake. What is it doing? Oh. It's where is the original one? So what's happening is I didn't reset its position once I reparented it, but it also didn't instantiate, which I thought you could instantiate from a scene object, but instead, oh no, it did. Where's it at? It did, but I set the real hat as a child rather than the one I instantiated. How did I do that? Player stats. So, hat index. So the hat, new hat, here we go. New hat. Yes, new hat, thank you. New hat.transform.parent. New hat.local. New hat.transform.local position equals, did you see how smart it was? It was there, vector 3.0, but I was typing too fast. All right. So we instantiate it from the hat. Then we reparent it. We set its local position to 0, 0, 0. And then we set the current hat to the new hat. Let's go see how this works. All right, here we are. And cross your fingers. Bink. Yeah, that's my cupcake hat. Very nice, very nice. All right, but what if we don't like that one anymore? What if we want the ice cream hat? There we go. Very nice, very nice. And what about if we do this mask? Whoa. All right, well, what? Why? The mask is somehow interfering with our camera. And I don't understand why that is. What is this thing? Give me this thing. Give me this thing. What are you? Okay, so you are a gas mask. Maybe it has to do with the colliders. Yeah, I should disable the colliders. It's probably what's happening. Is that the collider's getting in the way because it's like overlapping. There we go. Cool little afro. Covers up my name though. But I'm betting the collider is interfering with how I'm walking. So let's just see if I get rid of that collider, especially since it's a convex collider. Yeah. So I need to disable those colliders when I create them. So easy enough. We can just do new hat dot get component collider. Man, why did I take so long to upgrade to Visual Studio 2022? It's just, it knows. It knows. Wow. That's just so dang cool. All right, so here we are. And there we go. We got a nice bomb mask, ice cream cone, afro. And if we go look at it, dang, where are you, afro? Oh, you know what? Let's go doot, player. Go down to our player stats. So many components. Click on the head. And then expand the head. There it is. And as you can see, the mesh collider has been disabled. Okay, but does it actually work over the network? All right, as you can see, I already have Jim Bob in here. And Jim Bob's got that cool unicorn hat. If I put on this afro thing and I come over here and they're not orientated right. So you'd obviously would need to make sure that your forward transforms and rotations. Oh, I didn't set the rotation to 0. I bet that's probably the issue. So if I go to hats and Fred is me, good. Go to the head, expand the head, go. Yeah, the rotation's all out of whack. I bet if I fixed that, they would look great. But let's come over here, and there you can see we are Jim Bob. We have our, to ourself, it's oriented correctly. But that's just a coincidence. So yeah, that's how you do it. I guess real quick, we could try to set the transform rotation. So new hat dot transform dot local rotation dot Euler angles, because I don't know how to do vector 3. Oh, I'm loving you. Cannot modify the return value of local rotation because it's not available. Not a variable. What? Euler angles get set. What? Oh, I think I have to grab local Euler angles here instead of local rotation. There we go. All right, let's try this. This might be a good time to remind you, if you haven't supported me on Patreon yet, you still can. I don't have sponsors yet, so the only thing I can do is sponsor myself. So if you want to help support this content, check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/Philip Hurlitz. There's several different tiers. There's also YouTube memberships that has rewards. But here we go. There's Fred wearing a nice gas mask, orientated the correct way. And let's go ahead and grab this unicorn hat. We're now orientated the correct way. And let's go see how Fred's view is. And Fred's view is excellent. All right. So you now know how to network sync hats that players may wear. Did we check what it looks like yet if we change our hat? I think we've done that, but let's change our hat. Boom. Fred's hat changes instantly. Right? We're looking good. We're looking good, Fred. We're looking good. Okay. There's also a few assets you might be interested in, like what assets am I using right now to do all this? So the hats are part of Polygon Battle Royale. Ooh, and it's half off right now. I'll put a link in the description. That's another way you can support the channel. I'll put a referral link in the description. I get a little bit of kickback from that. And another tool that's really cool is how I have them up on the wall right there. If we look at our hats, there's this component that's called Layout Group 3D. And so, like, if I wanted to add some more hats, I just re-enabled the component. I wasn't using it. Once I had it set up, I always disable it so weird things don't happen at runtime. So if I go into Polygon Royale, if I go to prefabs, is it in props? I can't remember where it is. Maybe it's not in props. Characters? Yes, characters, attachments. So like if I wanted to throw in a beard, right? I can just grab the beard, drop it in hats, and it's already creating a new row for me. Maybe some earmuffs, and then bunny, and then a captain hat. Okay, so because it's on a grid layout group, it automatically took care of it for me. I can also adjust the spacing like this. You can also adjust where you want its center point to be. I just have it set for min right now, and I just use that. But if we wanted to now try to run this with these new hats, it would just work the way I've set up all the logic too. All right, so we have a bunch of new hats, and I can just click on the bunny, and now I have bunny ears, right? I can go to the headphones. There's the beard, captain's hat. All right, so that's one of the reasons why I set up the logic like I did, so I don't have to add a bunch of components to a bunch of different game objects. I can just add new things, and it works. If you're interested in that 3D layout group asset, it's only $5. It's super handy. I will put a link to it in the description as well. If you want to use my referral link, give me a little bit of kickback. And otherwise, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next Fusion Bite.